Hello, everyone. This is the Abundance Oracle here. Today, we're going to please like, subscribe, and share. Today, we're going to be talking about the interest rate that Fed Powell just lowered by 0.25% last week. And what does that mean to you? Depending upon your situation, it could mean quite a few different things. So, welcome. This is the Abundance Oracle. We're here to discuss how to produce abundance as well as the fun and strategic planning and organizing around having more money, and then other fun things like spending the money when you get to be independently wealthy and things you get to do. All right, so here we go. So last week, Fed Powell lowered the interest rate 1/4 point. And what that is going to do is loosen up liquidity in the marketplace. What does loosen up liquidity mean? It means that some things are going to be cheaper to buy, but the people with assets are also going to be the ones making more money. Once again, that's the increase in the prices of real estate will probably go up. Gold, silver, platinum, copper, so the hard assets. And the most volatile of all, which will probably see the biggest, fastest increases, but can be the riskiest, is the crypto market. So let's just have a little talk about, should you be investing in any of these places? So you have to be very careful, because what's going to be happening over the next cycle, at least until the second quarter of next year, 2026, when Powell will get replaced to by a Trump-friendly Fed chair, probably, most likely, almost count-onable, but you never know. The inflation rate will be going up. So if you make your money from a JOB and haven't been investing in assets, then you are not going to experience any more abundance. I suggest what you will be experiencing is more struggle, harder struggle. The prices of rents will probably be going up a bit. Food definitely will be going up. And there will be more struggles on the streets. So if you're someone who knows about current events and you know currently the two sides that are struggling now, one is, I'm going to say, for the people, and the other side is for the elite, the more powerful. And I would like to point to the UK, Australia, New Zealand, for you to look to what happens if the citizens of the United States are pitted against one another. There will be much more chaos on the streets. There will be more hardship, and people aren't learning about who's on the good side. The citizens, some of the citizens are not learning by watching the actions of the two different sides, who the good guys are for them versus who the guys that are the bad guys for them. And you cannot listen to the words. You have to watch with common sense and watch the actions of what's happening. If you're getting your news from only one source and not both sides, you won't be able to determine what's actually happening. One side is only describing propaganda, and the other side is describing more optimism than is felt by the average citizen currently. So I want you to be very careful going forward. If you don't have much money to be able to afford preparations, and what do I mean by preparations? I mean, you should have I would say 3 months supply minimum of food put away in your cabinets. Then aim for 6 months, then aim for 9 months, and then aim for a year. That sounds like a lot of food, and it is a lot of food. However, the prices of food are going to be moving up exponentially. The more the interest rates get lowered, the more the price of your food is going to get jacked up. I think there's a good handle currently on the price of gas. That's helping us all, everybody out a bit. But the amount of time it takes to really, really ramp up on our oil and gas, it is a couple of years. And we're, not even a year through yet. So you need to make a plan for yourself and your family on anything you might need during the next year to 2 years. It will rescue you more than you know. So those things should also include toiletries, clothing, a lot of, don't laugh at me about this, but a lot of our bras and underwears and men's shorts, are made, undergarments are made in CHINA. And there are still some socks to be bought out there that haven't moved up in price yet. You need to go to the places that don't process through a lot of their merchandise very quickly for those things. So look for the odd and end places for undergarments. And you should buy that. If you need a coat, even LL Bean, who is supposed to be like all American, a lot of their stuff now was produced in CHINA. So I wouldn't wait to buy your mittens, your coats, your scarves, your hats, heavy duty socks, sweaters. Make sure that your kids can be all equipped for next year. I suggest you do not buy for your kids that grow out of clothing so fast. I would suggest you do not buy brand new things. I suggest you go to resale shops, consignment shops, and make do with less items. I remember one of the things when we were young, we didn't have the money to buy a proper sled, those wood ones, and you can steer them with your feet. Yankee Flyer, is that what you call it? Or Speed Flyer or something like that. We couldn't do that. So we had to find like our beach tubes from the beach, the heavy ones, and we used those. And we just put, you put your bottom in the center and you slide down. And you know what? There were other people like us out there that were sliding down on the plastic tubes as well when we were little kids. No little kid thought twice about it. It was all about the speed and ability to control your direction. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I always get so off track. Okay, so the inflation's going to go up. Uh, the so what's going to happen is the long-term debt, like if you want to buy a house, is going to go up. The people that already have the 3.5%, 4% loans are not going to be moving. Currently, you have a lot of houses for sale, more houses. The quantity of houses are more and getting worse and worse on the foreclosure market, as well as what's for sale is worse than the 2008 crisis that we went through. So the prices of some houses in some locations, but not all locations, are going to start going down. The cars are going to be repossessed on those people that have really pushed themselves to the max with your debt. Do not use your credit card unless it's absolutely necessary, or you can afford to pay it off at the end of each month. Things are going to be changing and faster than you know. If you have been studying and learning about crypto, you will know that the increase is going to be dramatic in some of the tokens, and the decrease is going to be also very traumatic in some tokens as well. So you need to be very, very careful if you're going to play that crypto game. I don't suggest, if you're a novice, that you gamble with that. I would go with the guaranteed items: food, electric backups. Do you have a solar panel with a battery storage unit? If you look across the world, there's more and more blackouts because the countries that have relied on solar power and wind power are being devastated. And just last week, Bill Gates owned up to this climate crisis for the past, some of you may not be that old, for the past 25 years. You remember Al Gore when he used to come out and say, oh my gosh, it's going to be disaster. It hasn't been a disaster. The disaster has been the scam of climate crisis. You notice you don't hear from that little girl, Greta. Help me out here, Greta. You know who I'm talking about. That little teenager girl. She's shut up a lot because with the predictions of what she said, we now have 1 year left to have the whole world collapse from climate change. It's not collapsing from climate change. It's collapsing from man-made change. It's collapsing as okay, I get too long into this. It collapses as same as Rome did when the currencies start to collapse, which our currency is now collapsing. It collapses from currency problems. It collapses from hunger problems as the prices move up because of inflation. People starving and not having food. And there's a lot of people that will end up having to live on the streets and die from no medical assistance. They will be on the streets, and the easiest thing is to numb yourself and get drugs through nefarious ways, and it's not good. So, I'm sorry about the good news and bad news. Interest rates are going to go down, but inflation's going to go up. So you're going to find out that the wealthy people are going to get wealthier because they have assets that are going to go up. If you do not have assets that are going up, you are going to be getting poorer and poorer and poorer. You need to start to collect things. If I were talking to my daughter that didn't have a lot of money, I would say, honey, start with your food purchases. Stop drinking any soda, all that stuff. Only go with necessities and start practicing cooking. Get the cost of your food down. Second thing, as soon as you have some extra money, you can buy from a coin shop, or there's JM Bullion online, SD Bullion online, that I have used. Oh, a bird almost ran into my window. You can buy from them just as easily as if you know a reputable local coin dealer. Buy the silver dimes. They're called junk silver. They're not solid silver. Junk silver. They're going right now between $165 to $175 approximately for one roll of those dimes. You cannot get it from your bank because the current dimes are not silver. So you have to go to a coin dealer. And I suggest you get some of that, because if we lose our electricity, there will be no credit cards, there will be no ATMs. You have to have a little bit of money in your back pocket. And one of the things people use, and if you look historically, they use silver to barter with. Or let's say you have soap is a good barter item, toothpaste, things that people need to take care of themselves, Band-Aids, antibiotic stuff, Neosporin cream, stuff like that, things that you can do. If you have firewood to be able to make fires in your fireplace, or if you're stuck outside, lighters go for a lot of money. Anyway, okay. This is the Abundance Oracle. Please like, subscribe, and share. Watch my video. I'll try and put it up here. No power, no problem. So some of the ways that you can deal with having no power. It's starting to happen across nations, across our country. I think we have someone who might be able to fix this issue, but it's not going to be a short-term fix. It's going to be constant. It's got to be after this administration. There's got to be at least 4 more years of the same type of philosophy being followed up on. Any short-term elections, if you don't back the current people that are trying to fix things, we will turn back the clock to bad doo-doo. All right. I love you all. Plan ahead. And every little thing that you can do to plan ahead will ease the suffering and the difficulty, and maybe build abundance over this coming year, instead of your net worth going down. Okay, I love you all. Take care of your family and your friends. Try and find other like minded people that you can hang around with to help each other. An electrician, find a plumber, a woman who can cook. Maybe you can connect up with someone who has a garden but doesn't know how to cook. Think ahead, think ahead. Just bring it up ever so gently when you talk to people. Okay, I'm sorry. Here I go, 20 minutes. Bad me. I love you all. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.